Gamers, there are some massive layoffs going on at Bungie seemingly, and it's all unfolding now. But the very first thing I see as I open up X or Twitter is them promoting their season pass. This has got to be the worst timing, the dumbest scheduled tweet I think I've ever seen in gaming. They just laid off one of the community managers. Now, I've never met Liana Rupert. I don't really know who she is because she kind of came on after DMG, and I was kind of gone in Gotcha Gaming land. So I've never really interacted with her, but she's one of the Destiny 2 community managers, and I know she's been around the community. But she tweets out, working in games when you have high anxiety during a mass layoff trend is panicking. There's been a lot of layoffs in gaming. I'm not sure how much people keep up with this sort of news, but I've seen it all over Twitter. Little studio here, little studio there. Some of the AAA studios are losing some of their workers, or they're laying them off. And then, just a few moments later, like an hour later, she's like, oh, by the way, now I'm laid off as well. I'm now looking for opportunities. I've got 21 years in the game industry. Further down, she says, with Chu being laid off earlier this year, I'm terrified we're going to lose our house. Now, this is the crazy thing is these are people. These are people. They're not just getting like a little slap on the wrist here. This is like potentially ruining their lives, losing their home. That's really sad. It's really scary. I don't know much about her. I don't care what people might think of her. This is always, something rough to deal with. You can see from Jason Schreier, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He is a big, I'm not going to say leaker, but he knows a lot about the game industry. Whenever something's happening, it seems he knows about it. And he says that the Destiny 2 developer Bungie is the latest PlayStation studio to have layoffs. The full scope isn't clear yet, but Pete Parson emailed everyone that we're going to have a little chat about what's going on. Now, this is pretty wild, because this is potentially just the beginning of the layoffs. Who is next? And with Bungie being owned by PlayStation, if Destiny, one of their golden gooses, Destiny, how much, maybe we can find it. How much did Destiny make last year? Oh, I should say Destiny 2 make last year. It might have it somewhere in here, but it's in the hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, this is a good, profitable studio. They're sending DLCs. I mean, heck, every time a new DLC comes out, I'm buying it and I quit. I can imagine with the dedicated audience that they have and a few whales here and there buying skins, there's a lot of money flowing into Bungie, but it isn't enough. Is it because they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on the from the Eververse store on Marathon? Maybe. But they're also continuing to build Destiny. They're continuing to grow Destiny. They've got... Oh! They deleted the tweet? Breaking news. They delete the tweet. They realize, oh, sheesh. Oh, no, this is bad. Let me just see here. Oh, it's gone. They recognized, yeah, we're laying a bunch of people off. Maybe we shouldn't talk about this. I mean, 2 days earlier, hey, make sure you check out Festival of the Lost and buy our new skins. I don't know. I would understand if it's a game dev that's struggling. Like if we go into Steam charts, and we look at some games, right? If we look up, Wayfinder is in early access, and if we look up Wayfinder, there's 300 people playing Wayfinder right now. The game hasn't fully launched yet. It's going to be kind of a free-to-play game. But it's like, I would understand if Wayfinder's laying some people off. I would understand different games. But like, Destiny 2, what is it? 40,000 people? It's down right now, for sure. But like, this is a healthy player base. This is a pretty big player base. There's people buying DLCs. I understand. Things might be a little bit low. But even spiking up to 100,000, players at any moment in time, 100,000 players who have bought your DLC most likely is like $40, $50 million right there. Then you've got the Eververse. And this is concurrent players. There's some people that can't play till the next weekend. Some people play it and then they quit right away. These numbers here, it's probably $100 million, $200 million in sales in a pretty short period of time for that company. They're not falling apart here. It's not like some of these other games, is what I'm trying to say, that, only have a few people. Like, if we look at Battlefield, now this is Battlefield has actually had a resurgence, if you've seen this. So let's go to the last 6 months. It had an absolute resurgence in the past little bit here. But what about these months? When they were having no players, no new people were buying the game, no one cared about it. That's when you expect to see layoffs, not when there's 40,000, 50,000 people playing your game every single day concurrently. This is a kind of evolving story. If there's any other big names that pop up, maybe I'd make a video about it. But for the most part, this is just kind of sad. This is people's livelihoods, and I know that gaming is in a bit of a rut. And I'll tell you from kind of personal experience, as someone who is a YouTuber, you can see ad revenue going down because some of these companies don't want to advertise on YouTube right now. Sponsorships are hella down, much lower. They're paying less and much less frequent. And so I know I can kind of feel that the game industry is like slow right now, or there's a bit of a recession. I think, if you look at the stock market as well right now, the stock market's kind of tanking a little bit right now. Mortgage rates and the cost of borrowing money is really high as well. And so when that happens, it does lead to layoffs. People are paying way more interest on their money borrowed. And when you are a game dev that is potentially, leveraging their money, Bungie just renovated their studio. I don't know if I can find a picture of it, but Bungie studio renovation. It was downtown Bellevue. This bad boy, let me see if I can find some pictures of it. They've been renovating this space here. It's probably $20, $30, $40 million to renovate this studio. I don't know if these are current things, but Bellevue, this is like a kind of a shopping mall in Bellevue. I've been here. This is where Bungie's at. And I think it's like tucked around here somewhere. I can't remember. But the studio was an old movie theater, I think. So it's a very large space. But then they're like building this thing up. They made this whole new, they've essentially reconstructed this entire building in downtown Bellevue, which is extremely expensive. It's probably like a $100 million project for this freaking building that they've renovated. And so it's like, yeah, they're probably leveraged on some money. They're investing in, people working on Marathon, or they're just stealing all the devs from Destiny to work on Marathon. But maybe with the costs of borrowing, and maybe sales haven't been as good as they expected, I don't know what it is. Maybe the layoffs are necessary. But I'll leave you with this. Didn't they just get like a couple $1 billion from PlayStation? Shouldn't they be okay? Now, these are PlayStation studios that are having layoffs, and Bungie is a PlayStation studio, so maybe it is PlayStation telling them to do it. But why did you give them $2 billion then? It's like, okay, I understand you're buying them and you're controlling them, but if they've got a cash injection like that, you would think they'd be pretty chill for a while. You think they could do whatever they want. It's weird. That's all there is to it. That's all I'm going to say. Have a good day.